Alright, now, will this be posted, will it not be posted? I'm not entirely sure, but I want to just get out of my head what I've been working on in terms of developing, well, the different phases of building this new version of human society. I just want to get all the ideas out and put them into one place, at least for what I've got right now, so I can go back and I can reference it. And then if I do potentially post this one, anybody who watches it can jump in and offer suggestions as well. So basically, if you are unfamiliar with what my mission is as a human being, it is to create a new version of human society that will act as the model for how life can be lived on our planet differently, more in tune with nature, full self-sustainability, full self-reliance, full self-sovereignty as a community, spiritually as well as physically. I mean, basically the central location. When I'm talking about a central location, I mean literally building everything around a central point. Like say you have an acre of land in the very center, or wherever it is best on the land, you would put a center for meditation, for consciousness expansion, for healing, for vibration raising technologies, for yoga studios, for meditation studios, for all of that kind of stuff will become the center of this new community, because ultimately we want to be as healthy as we possibly can. We want the quality of our lives to be incredible while we're here, right? I'm pretty sure everybody would agree with me on that you want to feel great every day that you are alive. You want to feel like you could pick up a damn car, you know, and walk around like that, and walk around with your body feeling loose and limber, and like you could just take off on a 10K run if you wanted to. I mean, who wouldn't want to feel like that? So that's the central point of the community. And then out there we build. See, now I'm looking into different types of farming, because ultimately to begin this community, how I see this playing out is I'm going to have to, or we are going to have to, first build a retreat center. Because ultimately, from what I see with the law, you can't exactly just start a new community. Now, maybe somebody else knows something that I don't. It can point me in the direction of learning what I need to learn. But from what I understand about the law right now, I can't just start a brand new community. So the way that I want to start it is with a retreat center. And in this retreat center, you know, we would have, so basically you start the retreat center as, how would I say this, like the Squirtle to the Wartortle of the Blastoise. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the first stage of the evolution, so you'd want to build it in a way where it's prepared to expand. Like, it's not just going to be one retreat center, it's going to be prepared for expansion. And what that means is that, you know, you got to think about growing your own food. So now if you're thinking about growing your own food, ultimately I don't want the retreat center to be difficult to run. So, you know, in terms of being able to stabilize as quickly as possible, because, you know, I'm making a crowdfunding campaign for this, and so I'm going to be getting money from different investors and just from people who want to contribute, but I'm probably see, I don't know how I'm going to go about all this yet, but ultimately what I believe the total number is we need anywhere from $2 to $3 million to start this, depending on where it's going to be. So yeah, that's basically the goal, though, is 2 to 3 million. And so, you know, obviously investors, depending on how it is, if it's crowdfunding and then we just get to keep the money, we'll see. But if it's from people who are investing and they're looking for a return on their money, Well, then we need to be able to stabilize and actually create some sort of profitability margin that is all obviously also inclusive of taking care of us, the people who would be living there. Because like I'm saying, I know this is just me kind of going blah, because it's so much. It's so much. But just bear with me here. So basically, like, the people who would be the staff of this place would have the option to live there year round. So hold on, let me go back to the whole farming and self-sustainability thing and wanting it to be easy. Well, if we're going to make it as easy as possible, it wouldn't make sense to build the first version of this in somewhere where the weather is constantly fluctuating, like in Canada, for example, where we have 4 seasons. It would be so much easier if we knew for a fact that we don't have to prepare for a winter. Do you see what I'm saying? Where we know that we can grow this kind of food, this much of this kind of food, all year round. That's the kind of thing that I'm looking for in terms of a place, in terms of a location. Now, have I picked a location? No, I do not have a location yet, because this is also something, I don't know everything. I'm looking for the people who want to assist in building this new version of human society that starts with the retreat center that will then expand into that. I'm looking for you guys. If you're interested in doing that and you have great ideas and you've been thinking about this, then please relay this to me in the comments and we'll work together. So anyways, the location, what I believe is the most logical thing to do is to pick somewhere that has a stable climate of around 14 to say 25 degrees, because then you're able to grow most of the pretty much all the medicinal herbs that you need. Because when I'm talking fully self-sustainable, I'm talking fully self-sustainable, and like no reliance on the pharmaceutical companies whatsoever. We don't have to rely on going to a specific herbalist. We would have herbalists there, master herbalists there. We would have master farmers, or whatever you want to call that, living there, developing the food for us. Or do we do what's it called, permaculture farming? And there's a few other different types of farming that I've looked into. I actually can't recall the name of them. Wow. Clearly I need to continue learning more. But anyways, there's a few different types of farming that I'm looking into now too, and trying to figure out how do these mesh together. What's the best way to start? And how I believe the best way for us to start is to build a food forest. But you see, this is the thing, is all this stuff takes time, right? It takes time to grow a tree. Yeah, you can buy saplings of different fruit trees and stuff like that. But ultimately, it takes approximately 5 years to really start to yield off of a sapling, say, of an orange tree or something. At least from what I've read. I may be wrong about that, but that's just what I've read. So, there's going to be different phases, because ultimately, if we're going to be building this place, so when we raise that capital of the $2 to $3 million and we start to build this place, well, this is phase 1. We just entered then, is when the actual location is being built. But now, while we're building that location, what are the things that we can do to start generating income for that place, to stabilize that place? And so one of the things that I know is so important is to be able to create an online community, not just for the location, but for, like, for example, I'm a advanced theta healing practitioner. I'm a human experience guide, which some may call a life coach or a spiritual journey coach. I'm a subconscious reprogramming expert, basically, and I'm able to help people look at their limiting belief systems, look at how they speak to themselves in ways that's keeping them inside of a container of constriction, and liberate them from it. That's what I do. And I'm able to transfer that. I don't have to do that in person, you see. I can do the coaching, I can do the healing sessions over the internet, and of course create the content and such. So one thing that's basically going to be a requirement from everybody who's going to want to start at this place, whoever's going to be the foundational characters there, is you're going to have to get comfortable being on the internet, because you're going to have to, and I don't want to say like you have to do it, but like this is just what's going to be required at the beginning. If you understand that, then you know, if you're one of the kind of person who understands that when you plant an acorn, it won't grow into an oak tree overnight. This is a 1,000-year mission that we're starting here. This isn't just build a retreat center and have a good life. We're changing humanity by making these decisions and these choices and pursuing this. So yeah, we're gonna have to be able to transfer our skills into digital products, whether it's online courses, whether it's workbooks, whether it's ebooks, whether it's trainings. Perhaps you're an instructor and you can certify other people under this community, or whether you're a herbalist, like say for example you're a yoga instructor or something, and that's what you do, and you can make all those kinds of courses and such. Or you're like myself and you can package things and put that into a digitized version and then sell that online. Well, if you're a herbalist, we can also figure out, well, that's more down the line, because you know, the intricacies of developing the food forest while also engineering the land for the buildings and such, for the infrastructure. See, that part I haven't really gotten to yet. That part is, that's a lot to consider. I need expert help with stuff like this, you know, and I'll do my best with my understanding to do everything I can, but ultimately I know that I need help. So that's going to be essential for multiple reasons, because, you know, while it's in the phase of building it, see, what I'm thinking is we may still be able to host retreats there if we decide to, say, put up some yurts or something that only take a matter of a day, or literally buy like whole units that we can prop up around the land. And again, thinking for the future of, could people potentially live in these in the future, and where should we position them on the land so that we can still build in the spaces that we need to build in for the main infrastructure and such. Can we put those up so that we can still host retreats while we're in the building phase, and then perhaps even give tours of the place as it's being developed? And can we do programs where, say for example, the person who's going in and who's going to be working on the food forest, maybe there's other people who want to get into learning about that kind of stuff, or we can then also host mini learning camps for those people to come and learn from the masters, the experts that are going to be developing the food forest there. Now they can learn how to do it as well, and that's a way to generate income for us, is to host these learning camps. And then, you know, obviously at the same time, like everything possible that we can do a learning camp for, or something similar to that to generate income for this place, is what we'll do. Like, for example, the construction that's going to take place there, it's not just going to be a regular construction team that's going to be working on this place. Well, okay, yes, I guess it kind of would be, but the architecture itself will be influenced by designers who are extremely spiritually knowledgeable and, like, you know, understand the science of cymatics and sacred geometry, and who understand the golden ratio and things beyond what I am aware of at this moment. Those are the kinds of people that I want to be in discussion with for developing the actual buildings themselves, because I know, just with everything that I've learned up until this point, most churches are on energetic high points for the energetic grid of the earth, and this is why people tend to feel something when they go into a church for that reason, but also because the roofs are so high, or the ceilings are so high, that it allows your consciousness to expand further upwards, versus when we're in boxed buildings where the ceiling's only 8 feet tall, your consciousness can't fully expand properly and it gets trapped under this ceiling. And as well, a lot of the buildings that we're living in and walking around in and doing whatever in, there's a lot of aluminum frames, there's a lot of aluminum just in the building that's acting as the foundational structure of the building, or the frame of the building. So aluminum doesn't properly conduct the electromagnetic energy of the spirit, of the aura. Dan Winter does a whole breakdown of stuff like that. See, I can't go as deeply into it as he could. He'd spin your top right off. But anyways, for the buildings themselves, yes, this is what I'm looking to do, is find those people who can deliver us the architecture that as soon as you step into the building, just because of the way that the walls are curved, that the windows are spread out, it's all mathematically sacred. That the colors or the tints of the windows, for example, like how they have the light shining through in churches from the painted windows, or the stained glass windows, all of that stuff influences your mood, all of it. You know, there was a study done asking a few hundred people, or however many people it was, I think it was close to 1,000, what's the color of depression? And 70% plus said the color of depression is gray. And isn't it funny that all of our appliances are gray, our roads are gray, our sidewalks are gray, our buildings are gray, everything is fucking gray nowadays. If you look at a city compared to nature, it sticks out like a sore thumb. So, you know, people who have that kind of knowledge. So what else? In terms of considering, okay, we need a stable climate so that we can grow the necessary herbs and the necessary fruits and vegetables for the particular diet. If you're following people like Yaki Awakened, or Dr. Sabi, or Barbara O'Neill, Dr. Dick Gregory, Dr. B. Serious, you know, people like that, you know what kind of foods that we need to be growing. Now, whether or not we're going to have livestock and stuff there is a question for another time, because in phase 1, it probably makes more sense to rely on the community nearby for meat if you want meat, or for fish if you want fish, depending. Again, it all depends, because I don't know what the location of this place is going to be yet, but see, these are things that'll be figured out. So yeah, basically that's phase 1 is, okay, now we're building the food forest, now we're building the infrastructure. How long does that take? And in the time frame of all of that stuff being built, what is everything that we can do to make sure that we're constantly bringing in income to then funnel back into the expansion of this idea, so that we can't just get cut off? And so it is essential, for many reasons that I'll actually explain a little bit more right now, that the people who are involved in this are willing to create content. Because not only will, like, the people who will be coming here to not just, like, it's not working here, like, this is a fulfillment of a life's purpose, is what this is. You know, this isn't like, oh, you know what, yeah, I'm going to go get a job at a retreat center as a yoga instructor. No, this is your purpose of your life truly in alignment with what I'm talking about? Because those are the only people that I want to be, for lack of a better term, working with, building with, might be a better thing to say. This lighting is odd right now. So, yeah, where was I? Because as well, and the whole being willing to create content and have a digital presence, and to instruct online, to certify online, to do all that stuff online is also very important, because it provides each person with location freedom in a way that they're still able to contribute to the community even if they aren't there. And then, you know, you might come to, okay, well, but now how do we work out? You're just drying my mouth out here. Now, how do we work out? How do people get paid? Does all of the money just go into the community? Well, this is where as well I want to find a financial advisor who is awake and fully aware of the financial system, that's able to play the game in such a way that they can protect our money from ever being messed with. Because I know that there's systems that you can create where basically you become your own bank, and it's like through having multiple different corporations with trust funds that hold your money rather than it be tied to your name. And see, I don't fully understand this, but I want to find that financial expert who is fully aware and who has mastered this, and who can say, yes, this is exactly what you guys need to do in order to protect your money. Because what I'm thinking of it is like this: in order for people getting paid, is that because, like, okay, even though, now how do I say this without sounding like a wiener? Please just bear with me here, okay? Please know that this is just coming straight from the heart, and I'm not sure how to say this in the highest and greatest way, but if you catch my drift, you catch my drift here. So what I'm playing around with is everybody who is going to contribute to this is equal on all parts. Regardless of this being my idea, regardless of me going to be building this entire foundation for how we can move forward with the development of this new version of human society with this retreat center, regardless of the 10 years of research that I've done and healing on myself and all of this and putting it into this idea and creating this idea to the point where people can jump in and so much of it's already completed. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is, like, the guy who owns the business, so to speak, is usually the one who is making the most money, right? But I do not look at money like this. I do not look at the future of humanity like this. I look at it like I'm just an equal component. This is just my job in terms of the manifestation or the sustainability of this particular idea. This is just my contribution to it, and it is no better and no more important than anybody else's contribution to it, even the people watching this, for God's sakes. And I'm going to figure out a way that the people, like, there are so many ideas. I'm not going to get into it in this video because I'm already over my regular 22 minutes. I guess this will just be a long one. So, where was I? Basically, usually it's the person who owns the business is making the most money, but that's not how I want to do it personally, because I know that being the person who's developing it all, I'm positioning myself as a leader, right? Or as that guy. But just because I am that guy who is the terminal for consciousness to translate this specific idea into reality does not mean that my contribution is more important than anybody else's. With that being said, what I'm thinking is, you know, if you have $1 million in your bank account and you have $100 in your bank account and you have, say, 3% interest every month on your $1 million or your $100, well, what's 3% of $100 is only $3. But what's 3% of $1 million? Math. What's happening? Normally I'm good at this. I don't know, whatever it is, 30 grand, let's say. I don't know, I'll figure it out later. But either way, what I'm saying is that for that month, if you have a greater sum of money in an account, you're able to gain more interest. But I know as well that banks, and see, this is why we need the financial advisor, this person who is awake and aware. I know that banks, depending on how much money you have in an account, you can earn more interest on your money. So basically what I'm saying is that what if everybody who is contributing to this mission, we all put all of the money that we are generating into an account, and after we've earned an interest off of how much money we've made, and see, this is why we need a financial advisor, because this may not be the best way to go about it, but I certainly want to do it in some way that is equal for everybody and where we are making the most amount of profit possible. And yeah, we'll get into money because, you know, people say that spirituality and money don't mix, but spirituality and money, of course, they mix. This is the society that we have today. I live in the Western world where I need to go up to a merchant at a grocery store because of the certain position in my life and offer them tender for exchange of my goods. That's just how it is over here right now. So anyways, like we're gonna move so far beyond that, though, trust me, once we get to phase 2 and sustainability has been reached. But we're still speaking about phase 1 and making things happen. So what I'm saying is that everybody who's bringing in income, what if we all pooled it into one account, where then we're making that sum grow and grow and grow, and then we're gaining more interest per month or whatever the payout would be for the dividends. See, we would make more money because we all are contributing way more, so the interest is way more every month, right? And then maybe each person gets paid after we've accumulated that new amount of interest. Maybe we get paid once a month, or maybe it's once every 3 months, or whatever the best way to do it is, but we each get a massive sum that's planted into our accounts, not for the sake of, oh yeah, let me go out and just spend it on whatever I want and get wasted and party with my friends and do all that dumb shit, because we're not those people. I'm looking for the people who have already gone through that, who know what kind of foods they want to eat, who know what kind of water they want to drink, who know what kind of thoughts they want to have in their head, and who have genuinely traded realities for who they once were for the best version of themselves. Those are the people that I'm looking for, the people who are done with the partying phase, the people who understand that if you want to buy a Ferrari, that's totally cool, but that's not the point. See, I'm trying to think of a way where we all get paid the same amount, because we would all be contributing equally, but enough so that, you know, it's fair, that we're not just like taking so much from the retreat center and the development of this future version of human society, because obviously we don't just want to make this a cash cow. That's not what it's meant to be, right? But at the same time, I understand that people have their own lives that they want to live, their own earth that they want to explore, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm not looking for people and saying, hey, you got to commit your entire life to this and that is it, because part of you becoming you is going out and experiencing life, not just and yeah, like, even if it's the fulfillment of your purpose, maybe you don't travel anywhere for a couple of years because you're just so in love with that, but maybe there comes a day where you say, hey, I want to go and travel. Hey, I want to go and see India for a little while. Well, all right. Like, you see what I'm saying? This is the future of humanity. This isn't just like come and work forever. And yeah, there may, you know, depending on how it all works out, maybe there is a commitment that we need to make at the beginning just to make sure that we're getting everything rolling. But this is the purpose of the whole digital presence thing, is then you can still travel and you can still contribute money back to the community, but then you're also making way more money than you would be by yourself, because those contributions are going into a massive account, gaining more and more interest, and then you're getting paid out more as the dividends come in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like all around, I'm looking to make it as fair as possible and as good for everybody as possible. Because yeah, like I want to deliver TED Talks around the world. I want to give speeches around the world, man. I don't want to just stick to one location and speak into a microphone over the internet. I want to go and I want to shake people's hands. I want to give them hugs, you know? I want to actually feel the world. I want to be able to go to just so many cool places and experience life for myself too, while also creating the content, while also hosting maybe little mini retreats in the places that I go and doing all that kind of stuff. Like, I want to do that. I want to be mobile too. Trust me. And there's absolutely, like, that's okay, you know? I feel like when I've talked about this with people, they think that it's like a commitment of a ball and a chain where you're like, you're just fucking trapped, or you're just stuck in this place forever. No, it's not like that. We're building the future version of human society, of the collective whole. We're building the future of what the earth could look like, which means that you get to go and explore your own planet, you know? It's crazy that we even have to pay for stuff like that anyways. It honestly just blows my mind. It just blows my mind how crazy the world is, you know? But anyways, where's I going with that? But so yeah, basically it's like, man, when I think about this place and I talk about this place, this is the energy that I get. Like, are you picking up on this right now? That it just feels so good. It feels like laughter. It feels like, oh man, it feels like waking up every day like you just came out of a cold plunge or something. Like you're just electrified and ready to just go out and set your sails, man, and just let the wind take you wherever it wants to take you. But also, like, it's just such a good feeling. I'm not sure I covered everything I wanted to talk about yet. Anyhow, I'm going to end it there, though. I'm just over 30 minutes here now, so these are just a few ideas that I got bouncing around up in the old noggin here. Yeah, I don't have a nose strip today, so my nose is all plugged and I'm all nasally, and it's hard to breathe. Dude, I can't believe what a difference those things make. So I guess we'll call this a discussion about phase 1, and then I'll do a discussion about phase 2. Maybe I still got about an hour to drive, so I might even do another one on today. Anyhow, yeah, if this sounds like something that's totally awesome to you, please reach out in the comments, and we'll see how we can work together. I love you with my entire heart, and I hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Cheers.